Okay, another week. So I am currently in Maine. Um, the last week was really mixed. I mean, I feel pretty darn good now because yesterday was really good. But it was like a really mixed week. Um, kind of like caught up in this thing of trying to not knowing exactly what it is. All this shit I'm trying to do is going off medications, all this alternative education stuff, and web development and traveling and comedy and I kind of like dealing with all this stuff. Um, so like, last Friday night, They had an open mic at the hostel I was at, and I was doing good. And then I told some jokes that just they might have flown and been all right at a comedy club, but they didn't fly at this hostel's open mic. And it actually felt like kind of a jerk for telling the jokes. And then I felt like the people there, I don't know. It. I mean, I'm all for free speech, but it wasn't a comedy club. It was like this hostel, and so then the people that were working there, I kind of felt afterwards that I had crossed the thing, but they kept telling me the whole couple weeks that I was there, oh, we're gonna do an open mic, you gotta tell some jokes, and I'm like, I don't know if you know what kind of jokes I tell. So I told some stuff about mental health, so I was very revealing, and I'm like this guy that's staying in their place, telling stories about all the fucked up stuff that I've kind of done or been a part of or whatever. And then there were some kind of jokes I made about women that I don't think went over very well, though I mean, they were well intended. I certainly never go up on stage with the intent of hurting anyone's feelings or anything like that. So that's kind of tough. And I just haven't been really excited about web development work, building websites for other people. And I've been kind of experimenting with doing something else similar, like search engine optimization. Um, so I've been kind of experimenting with that, but nothing that makes me money. I'm still maybe trying to. I think I'm trying to develop the skill and convince myself that I'm good at it before I went to someone to offer to be paid to do it. My drop shipping site made a sale a couple weeks ago, which was great for the first time. But now it hasn't made any sales yet. But I've put a bunch of more time into it, and I re-upped my interest in it. So, I got a chance, and so maybe that's a waste of effort and stuff like that. And then last week I did my first school sucks, so build your own workshop at a library, and no one showed up. Last night I did one, and two people showed up, which sounds like nothing, two people, but I was like, oh my god, there's two people here. And that was really, I changed the first one I advertised with just an image on Facebook. This time I had an image and a video. And the kids that showed up, they were like, oh, the video was really cool. And I was like, all right, that's cool. And I felt I even asked them, did anything I say help you? Did it, was this useful to you? Me standing up here and sharing all this fucking information I've got? Sorry this keeps slipping. Um, and so it felt good that, oh, something there's working. You know, something's being effective. Uh, and I've been reading Anatomy of an Epidemic, which is a book by Bob Whitaker about the mental health system. And I don't know why I didn't read it sooner. I've known about the book for a long time, that it was kind of that one and Mad in America are these two culminating books about mental health and all the chaos that goes on in the American mental health system. And I finally am now reading them, and oh man, it's intense to read. And I'm on these fucking medications, and I'm reading about how nobody knows what causes, let's say, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. They don't know what causes it. Basically the story of it is that they had these people that were acting differently, and sometimes then they'd have them locked up in mental hospitals, and they needed the people to behave better. They wanted them to be more easy to manage in the hospitals, and so they had these medications for other applications that calmed people down or whatever, made them behave. So they gave them to these people, and then they just claimed that the disease, so like they didn't know what was causing, let's say, schizophrenia. They gave people a drug, and the drug made them behave better. And they knew that the drug regulated dopamine, so they said, oh, dopamine's what's causing the schizophrenia. There's no evidence at all that the dopamine levels, and actually they've proven that that's not the case. They've proven that people with schizophrenia have no abnormal levels of dopamine in their system at all. But they created this idea of an imbalance, and like I'm taking them, and like I'm reading about it, and like I felt like going off Lamictal was all right, but like I'm nervous about going off Seroquel. Be totally real. You know, like I know the longer you're on it, the more damage it does to you. And the harder it is to go off. I mean, I'm not on a big dosage, but even so, going from 100 down to 0 milligrams, you know, that's as big a deal as going from 500 milligrams down to 0. You know, going like changing your system. Like I don't know. I'm a light guy. Like I weigh like 145 pounds, which I guess I've lost a lot of weight in the last year. I lost like 15 pounds, maybe 20. Not good. So I felt like really uplifted because last night I ran that workshop and it went well. But now I'm like trying to figure out what's next. You know, I got asked, I'm staying in Maine with a friend, and she asked me to stay longer, which I might. I had originally had plans of lining up. There was this place in New Hampshire that was going to rent to me for like $300 a week, which is a little, I mean, it's a great price. Like the place is amazing. It's a really great price. It's a little higher than I like to pay. You know, that'd be like $1,200 a month, which is kind of a lot. And then when I told them that it was only going to be for like a week or two, then they doubled the rate. So originally I had asked about a month. And they said, oh yeah, it'd be $300 a week. And then I said, okay, hey, things change up a little bit. I'm just looking for a week or two. And they're like, oh, $600 a week. I'm like, what? They go, yeah, that's the weekly rate. Fuck, dude, I'm not going to do that. So I don't know what'll come next. I feel pretty good. Yesterday and today are the first times I haven't done my morning like yoga meditation kriya. When I went to the program, they had said like twice a day for 40 days and then once a day for 6 months. So my 6 months was up, so I decided just like I'm going to take 2 days of not doing it or a few days of not doing it rather than feel like I have to do it. I want it to feel like I want to do it instead of like I'm doing it by fear of not doing it or something. So I'll probably jump back into it this weekend or something. Not a whole lot else to report. Everything seems to be all right, you know. Like I wasn't really feeling great during the week because I just felt like I wasn't getting enough work done. Like money's been tight, and I've been distracted and not like super motivated to do work stuff. I've been motivated to do all my other shit, and I don't know if that's like, oh my god, you know, I'm off Lamictal. Am I not realizing? Am I slowly teetering into like depression without realizing that it's happening? It's like fucking paranoia almost. Okay, cool. Later.